up there in the breaks, it's all up and down, hills and hills. So we were walking up and down, and I couldn't make it. And Shane came up to me and said, "Let me take your backpack." Of course, this is the first hike. I packed like 40 pounds of stuff in that backpack. Not a good idea either. I didn't need a big cast iron pan. You only cooked once. But I didn't need that 40-pound backpack. And Shane came up, and it's kind of like Jesus to me. Came up and took my backpack and carried it for me because I wasn't strong enough to do it on my own. I needed someone else's help. I couldn't do it on my own. And Shane came up and he took that backpack and he carried it for me. And long story short, I made it. But if everyone's to Psalm chapter 51, it's page 889. It's not too long of a chapter, but it'll take us a little bit to get through it. Psalm chapter 51. This is for the director of music, a psalm of David. So David wrote it. When the prophet Nathan came to him, and after David had committed adultery with Bathsheba. So David had committed adultery with this gal named Bathsheba, and Nathan was a prophet of God, and he came up to David and said, "What in the world are you doing? You should not be doing this. God doesn't want you to do this." And once David realized he sinned, he felt broken, sorry, and he needed God's forgiveness. And this is his, I guess you could say, prayer, almost. It says, "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love. According to your great compassion, blot out my transgressions. Wash away my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Against you only have I sinned, and done what is evil in your sight, so that you have proved right when you speak, and justified when you judge. Surely I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Surely you desire truth in the inner parts. You teach me wisdom in the inmost place. Cleanse me with hyssop, and I will become clean. Wash me, and I will become whiter than snow." On the next page. "Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice, and your face from my sins. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquity. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me from your presence, or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore me the joy of your salvation, and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. Then I will teach transgressors your ways. The sinners will turn back to you. Save me from blood guilt, O God, the God who saves me, and my tongue will sing of your righteousness. O Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. Do not delight in sacrifice, or I would bring it. You do not take pleasure in burnt offerings. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. In your good pleasure, make Zion prosper. Build up the walls of Jerusalem. Then there will be righteous sacrifices, whole burnt offerings to delight you. Then bulls will be offered on your altar." Let's turn back, well, it's on the same page, but verse 17, it says, "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise." And I think that's something we really need to take and apply to ourselves, how we need to have a broken and open heart to God. And a lot of people get broken, but it doesn't mean they always turn to God. Turn to drugs, alcohol, relationships, other people. It's not just that your heart needs to be broken, but it also needs to be open. It's like an eggshell, like a hard-boiled egg. You crack it and crack it, it's cracked all over, but you still can't eat it, right? You have to take it and you have to open it up to get the inside, what you want to eat. It's the same way with our heart. Our heart can be broken all over, broken into millions and millions of pieces, but we have to open it up to let God in, or He can't work in and into our lives. And there's no way we can fix our lives on our own. There's no way. We can't do it. We can try, and maybe we'll do good for a while. Maybe we'll start doing good. But in the end, we always fall. We always sin, and we fall right back to where we were a month ago. Without Jesus in our lives, we can't do anything. And let's turn to Psalms chapter 51, 6, and 7. It's on the page right before. And it says, "Surely you desire truth in the innermost parts." What do you think that's talking about? Your heart, right? "You teach me wisdom in the inmost place. Cleanse me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow." What kind of clean do you think it's talking about? Whoa.